now indicated the stand of the NRM ever since 1965, encapsulated in the 4 principles, one of which is Pan-Africanism. Some of the people in Africa, here in Uganda, they talk of tribes. The tribes, religion, oh. Now, let them buy the sugar now. Let the tribes buy the sugar. If the tribes are important, why do we have a surplus of maize and sugar, and all which they cannot be bought? The NRM has been telling you from 1965 that Pan-Africanism is the way for Africa to go. Now that you have woken up a bit, you are now seeing it for yourselves now. The question is, when all the Ugandans wake up and start using their assets fully, land, labor, capital, to create more wealth in the 4 sectors of commercial agriculture, industry, services, and ICT, who will buy or utilize all those products? Will the internal market of Uganda be enough? The answer is a clear no. The internal market cannot be enough. If serious production takes off in Uganda and also in the other African countries. Do we need examples? Look at China and India. Each of them has got an internal market of 1.4 billion people. Yet they have been greatly assisted by exporting to other countries, including the African ones. How could then the population of Uganda of 46 million people be considered enough to sustainably stimulate and absorb the enhanced products of the Ugandans that have woken from the sleep of ignorance about modern opportunities? This is the moment the Ugandans and the other Africans need to answer the question: is this generation of African leaders determined to build a Latin America in Africa or a United States of Africa in Africa? In 1976, when the British settlers in North America got independence, they wisely decided to unite the 13 colonies of the British, of Virginia, New York, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Maryland, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Delaware, North Carolina, South Carolina, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Georgia. They have been adding other states ever since. That is how you now have the mighty United States of America. The Spanish colonies in South America, on the other hand, decided to remain scattered into the 18 countries of Latin America, of Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, Brazil, French Guiana, Paraguay, Chile, Argentina, and Uruguay. What is the result after 246 years? Prosperity in the United States of America and misery in Latin America, almost universally. How will a big business enterprise in Honduras, population 9.9 million, Guatemala, 17.9 million, Costa Rica, 5 million. Panama, 4.3 million, etc. How will these enterprise, big businesses succeed? How will they succeed? Even bigger countries like Brazil, population 212 million, may not easily succeed for the reason that even bigger countries like China and India still need additional markets. By 1900, Argentina was the 10th richest country in the world. What then happened? It was the biggest exporter of beef in the world. That is what I was taught in primary 3 in 1955. What then happened? It seemed the emergence of the protected beef market of the European Union may have been one of the causes of Argentina's decline. I would therefore like to use this occasion to remind the African fraternity that economic and, where possible, political integration in Africa is a sine qua non of the success for Africa. If we are to address the issue of the prosperity of our people and strategic security of Africa, apart from other considerations. I'm glad we are working on the Continental Free Trade Area for the common market of the whole of Africa and on the Confederation of East Africa as a first step to the East African Political Federation. In East Africa, we should not repeat the mistake of 1963 when some actors made us miss our objective of the political federation. And on page 15, I have there the picture of our elders, Mzee Kenyatta, Mwalimu Nyerere, Dr. Obote, on the 3rd of June, 1963. And the headline of the Uganda Argus, which you will see in this booklet here, of that day was East African leaders call for Kenya's independence now and federation this year. Top-level talks end in Nairobi, 3rd of June, 1963. We must, where we can, build a center of gravity for the African race. The African race must have a center of gravity. There are smaller countries in the world. However, many of them have centers of gravity. You have got smaller countries in Eastern Europe, Western Europe, Denmark, small countries. But they have got centers of gravity. USA is the center of gravity for the West Europeans. It is their center of gravity. When they're in trouble, it is the one which rescues them. When Hitler wanted to take them over, and after had taken them over, who rescued them? The USA and somebody else, whom they don't talk about now. Russia, for the Balkans. The Slavic nations of Eastern Europe have a center of gravity in Russia. China for the Far East. India for South Asia. Where is the economic and strategic center of gravity of the African race? Where is it? When you see black people suffering almost everywhere the black people are suffering. You put on TV, you'll see black people suffering all over the world. In Africa here, they are suffering. In the USA, they are suffering. In Brazil, they are suffering. It is partly on account of lacking this center of gravity. Nobody cares about Africans. Nobody thinks Africans, nobody is careful with Africans. I shouldn't do this because the Africans will be unhappy. No, Africans don't matter. In order, therefore, to solve the problem of the new happy phenomenon of surpluses in Uganda, now in Uganda there is a new problem, surpluses. Ekyengera bandanga ngakifuuse ekizibu. Amaido, Duma, Ebikado, Binji Kamara. So Ekyengera has become a problem. But the Kyengera is a good problem. In order, therefore, to solve the problem of the new happy phenomenon of surplus in Uganda, we need to deal, along with our brothers and sisters in Africa, with three issues: regional and continental integration, to unite the regional and continental markets, to support production of goods and services better. Higher purchasing power in Uganda so that Ugandans can buy more. This is the answer for the markets. Number three, and good quality products at comparative cost that can be accepted in national, regional, continental, and international markets. These are the three answers to the issue of Ekyengera, surpluses, which is a new problem in Uganda. To intensify the struggle for socio-economic transformation, we shall aggressively and without compromise deal with some obstacles. Ekisanja kino bannange, ekisanja kino Katonda gyali. There was some resistance by some parasite groups to our policies of creating and properly using the wealth funds, such as Operation Wealth Creation Money, youth funds, women fund, Emyoga fund, etc. We have been having resistance on that. Era nsanyuse abazzukulu bange ab'omu ghetto nabo bali wano bazze bali awo. Ab'omu ghetto gye muli waliwo ab'omu ghetto bali awo, naye bw'owulira ensonga zaabwe ziba mu bakulembeze, abakulembeze be baleeta ekizibu. Ze nseke enzibikidde. Naye ab'omu ghetto babadde bayingiddwa abalabe abadde bagala kubakozesa ebikyamu, naye twogere nabo abasinga obungi babivuddemu. Bali awo. Gye muli eyo balina ekidaala kyabwe awo. Kati ababadde balira esente zaabwe mu kkubo bagenda kukoma. Tugenda kukwatagana Omuganda wagambira nti ekiri mutu kimanyi bwananyini kyo. Kyensibye n'abageto yefe abakimanyi. Implementing free education in government primary and secondary schools. That free education must be implemented. Providing free vaccines and therapeutic drugs in government health centers. Protecting Bibanja owners over the iniquitous Milo land system. Ensuring that the feeder roads are in good condition following the provision of good road equipment for all districts. Fighting corruption of government officials, including magistrates and the policemen, and dealing decisively with the cattle thieves and those who steal crops from the gardens. The wealth funds will be concentrated at the parish level in the parish model, except for the Myoga funds that will remain at the constituency. The wealth funds, unlike in the past, will be controlled by the members and not by the government officials. Cow, operational, no. Bagenda kuvaamu. Abanayinisaako betugenda kusindikira ssente. The only prohibition will be to divert the money to non-mission areas. The allocations will be grants to the parish circles. In the past, it was government officials to select beneficiaries. The members will now prioritize the allocation themselves. With free education, and after due consideration, there will be no head teacher that will be tolerated if he or she reimposes school charges. Dealing with corruption and stealing drugs, part of the solution is e-government. All government transactions will be computer-based, no more human-to-human contact. This will be easier to monitor, even for remote supervisions. The corona pandemic hit some sectors badly, especially the hotels, the performing arts, the borders, the sportsmen, etc. This financial year and the next financial year, we have put aside $464 billion, about $130 million, to help these groups as soon as the residual lockdown is removed. The UDB will be further empowered to give low-interest loans to manufacturers, agricultural entrepreneurs, and some actors in the services sector, such as tourism. As far as Corona-19 virus is concerned, we shall open up once we have vaccinated fully 4.8 million people as follows. Population over 50 years of age, the number is 3.3 million. Health workers in public and private health units, 150,000. Teachers and lecturers, 550,000. Security personnel, 250,000. Those with comorbidities, although they are below 50 years, those are 500,000. Total, 4.8 million. Until today, we have so far vaccinated 375,000 people. Apart from importing the vaccines from others, we are developing our own vaccine, able to deal with all the known variants. When we are trying to look for the vaccines, for the equipment, we are being told about Africans. Africans, you shouldn't make vaccines. You should import. That's what they were telling us. You want equipment for vaccine? What? You Africans, what for? Your job is to import. But I rejected that. We shall import once or twice, and we shall make our own vaccines. We are moving very well. Only that we delayed because of our slave-minded public servants who waste so much time because they have no confidence in themselves. We have also been trying in humans some therapeutic materials which seem to be effective. Our diagnostics are reaching industrial level, and we have finalized the construction plans for the diagnostic factory. Construction should commence soon. On prevention, the tough measures we took limited the damage. Until the 8th of May, we have had 442,226 infections, 41,652 recoveries, and 346 deaths. Finally, I thank their excellencies that have honored us with their presence on this occasion. This is real brotherhood. We also appreciate the delegations that came from all the other countries. I need to express my concern to African brothers and sisters that are here today and those that are not here, that the situation in a number of points in Africa does not give credit to the African people. The security situations in Libya, Mali, Niger, some parts of Nigeria, Chad, Central African Republic, some parts of Cameroon, Eastern Congo, Somalia, recently northern Mozambique, etc., must be addressed and can be addressed. First of all, the situation in Libya was created by the arrogant and irresponsible actions of some actors that took actions that were against the express position of the African Union. I can reveal to you that those actors had a narrow escape. When some actors started attacking Libya against the decision of the African Union, I contacted His Excellency Jacob Zuma of South Africa and proposed that African armies that so decided to intervene in Libya and confront and teach a lesson to those aggressors. We were let down by Muammar Gaddafi, who abandoned Tripoli without a fight. Although at that time I did not have direct link with Muammar Gaddafi, I advised his envoy, who came to see me here, to turn Tripoli into a Stalingrad. With H.E. Jacob Zuma, we had to work out a solution for the aircrafts and cruise missiles that some people use to attack defenseless people from far away, so that if the aggressors so wished, could come on the ground and we fight man to man. Such a confrontation would, of course, have been imposed on us unnecessarily. We have, since a long time ago, stated that the African patriots, like we in the NRM, are neither pro-West nor pro-East. We are first and foremost pro-Africa. Because there is something called Africa. When I came in the government when we were still fighting, are you pro-East or pro-West? Idiot, I am pro-Africa. I cannot be here to be pro-others, but not pro myself. It is on account of that good friends should only deal with contentious strategic African issues via the African Union. Bypassing the African Union is not acceptable when it comes to dangerous strategic African issues. We have no interest in fighting anybody except poverty and underdevelopment in Africa, starting with Uganda. However, some actors are always in search of enemies. They are looking for enemies. You are not an enemy, they declare you an enemy. Okay, if you want to be an enemy, we can sort out issues. Our role there is to advise those who are advisable, but also do our patriotic duty if unavoidable. Unfortunately, the Libyans collapsed quickly. On account of that, much of Northwest Africa has been with security problems that were not there before. Libya, Chad, Mali, Niger, parts of Nigeria, Central African Republic, and Cameroon. Who is responsible for this hemorrhage? I hear people talking about accountability. Who is accountable for this suffering? Who caused all this? Of course, Muammar Gaddafi had his own problems. I had the task of fighting him twice, 1972 and 1979, as he intervened in Uganda on the side of Idi Amin because Idi Amin was a Muslim. However, foreign armies attacking an African country against the express objection of the African Union is not a solution. The huge concomitant suffering of the Africans in Libya and the surrounding countries has proven that if any proof was needed, Africa can defend itself against any and all aggressors if we coordinate. In 1963, our leaders met in Addis Ababa. Only 36 of them that time, and declared that the rest of Africa must be freed peacefully or Africa would use force. This was in 1963. That time, some of the actors thought, and they seem to think now, that this was just idle talk. Exactly 11 years later, in 1974, the African armies of Mozambique, Angola, and Guinea-Bissau, supported by the courageous Mwalimu Nyerere, Kenneth Kaunda, Sekou Toure, Boumediene, Nasser, and briefly Nkrumah, and the socialist countries had defeated the Portuguese African armies, totaling almost 200,000 soldiers. Just before this victory, there had been the 1973 Arab-Israeli War, where the Egyptian army put up a better performance and quite bled the Israelis before the latter crossed the canal and surrounded the Egyptian second and third armies in Suez and Port Said. The Israelis, badly needed resupplies by the USA. However, the USA had a problem, because many of the European countries did not want to refuel the American transport planes in fear of the Arab anger. The Arabs had announced the 1973 oil boycott against those they saw as their enemies. That left the Portuguese islands of the Azores. In the USA National Security Council meeting of 1974, the issue of using the Azores came up. Somebody in the meeting pointed out that Africans will be very annoyed. Henry Kissinger, who was said to be a clever man, is said to have said that African anger does not matter because they have no capacity to enforce it. Exactly 5 months from the date of that meeting, the Africans who did not matter defeated the Portuguese who mattered. I'm told Kissinger is still alive. It would be good for his record if he cleared this allegation. It is up to us to show all and sundry that we matter and we have the capacity. We defeated the Islamic hoodlums in Somalia. When we went to Somalia, these idiots, These idiots were calling us kafir.